Hey everybody, it's Derek. I'm going to be making some butter. Got heavy whipping cream and salt, and beyond that, that's the only two ingredients you really need for this. I'm using my mixer. There's a number of other things that you can do to separate the heavy whipping cream, but this is the easiest for me, so let's get started. Okay, so went ahead and weighed the whipping cream just to see what kind of yield that we'll be getting off of this. But yeah, all you gotta do, pour it in. Like so. Make sure you get most of it, because more in there equals more butter. Okay, so put it down in here, lock it. Okay, normally I will do about medium speed on these. I don't think it really matters how fast it goes, just as long as the cream stays cool. I've read right around 50 degrees is about as warm as you want to keep it. But as long as it stays cool while it's doing this, the speed I don't think really matters. Eventually the solids will separate out into butter. So let's get that started. And it'll be doing this for about 10, maybe 15 minutes. I'll come back every now and again and show you different stages it goes through before it finally separates out. So, see you in a bit. So once you get to this point, it'll start separating out really, really quick, and the butter fat will cling to the whisk, and the buttermilk will float to the bottom, or sink to the bottom. So get this out of the whisk, and we'll keep going. Okay, so we've got our butter over here. Got most of the buttercream, or the buttermilk, drained out of it. Doesn't have to be perfect, because my next step, I'm going to be washing this with just regular cold tap water. This will remove the rest of the buttermilk, and it will in turn make it keep a lot longer. And then this is the buttermilk. This isn't like the buttermilk that you get at the store. It's not cultured. If you wanted to culture it, just take like a tablespoon of cultured buttermilk and put it in this and let it sit covered on the counter for a few hours, and you'll be able to use it. If it's good for baking, I've drank some before. It tastes okay. I mean, it's not milk, but it's alright. So yeah, we'll get on to washing the butter and finishing this up. Okay, you just massage this around. This will do two things. It'll clump the butter together, and it'll get rid of the extra buttermilk. You'll repeat this 2 or 3 times is usually about all that I repeat it. till the water is a lot clearer. And then from here, you can salt this if you want. I normally don't. But if you were, it's about a teaspoon of salt per quarter pound of butter. Okay, so I got this washed up. Then I split these up into 4-ounce chunks. So these 3 are 4, and didn't quite get 4 ounces on the last one, so that's just going to be a little bonus. But how I end up storing these, I've got some plastic wrap right here. What you want to do is kind of form it to the buttermilk, or the butter. That's the buttermilk. So you want to make sure there aren't any air pockets in the main part of it. Do that, and it'll be a little malleable when you're doing this, but you don't want to mess with it too much, because the more your hands touch it, the more it melts, and the bigger mess you end up getting. So once you get it like that, roll it up the rest of the way. Now you have these 2 ends. Take and pinch both ends like this. You want to try to get as much air out of each end as you can, because that's what's going to get trapped in the butter. And then from there, just roll it on the counter, and you might have to form it into more of a ball for this, or a cylinder. But yeah, and then from there the saran wrap can just do that. So that's 4 ounces, so that's about the same as a stick of butter. So from there, if you need a half stick of butter for something, just cut this in half, cut it in quarters, whatever you need. So I'm going to do these 2, and then I'll show you how to salt the last one. Okay, so I got these done. Got a little bitty dude. So with this, the salting, or when you salt the butter, basically you're just mixing it in. It's nothing crazy hard. I recommend you salt it to your own tastes. This may take a little bit of trial and error, but the butter that you get at the store usually has, I believe it's either a quarter or half a teaspoon per stick of butter. So for a pound of butter, you're looking into upwards of a tablespoon or more. And you can use your own salt for this. At this point, if you want to add other stuff to it, maybe some granulated garlic or other things, it's the same as the salt. I'm not that fancy, so I'm just going to sprinkle some salt on here and work it in. Try to work fast so this doesn't melt, and then I've already got it on the plastic wrap, so I'll mix it up and roll it up. I'm using sea salt. Doesn't really matter what kind of salt you use. Iodized table salt's fine for this. It doesn't really matter. Just whatever you normally use, that's what I recommend. So go ahead, mix it on here. Kind of knead it in, but yeah, you're going to end up making a little bit of a mess. It's part of it. That's why I put the saran wrap down. Once you get it incorporated pretty good, kind of squeegee it all to a pile again and mash it down. You want to remove air pockets. I haven't had any problems with butter growing stuff on it. mainly because I get rid of the buttermilk. But leaving the air pockets in it probably isn't a great idea anyway. So, clean my hands off a little bit. Okay. Then that. Pinch the air out of the ends. Roll it up. And the more you roll this, the more compact it's going to get. Basically, you're kind of forming the butter as you're packaging it. So if you don't like, if you want to make it a square, you can make it a square. If you want to make it circular, you can make it circular. At this point, it doesn't matter. But yeah, there you go. So got about 13, almost 14 ounces of butter out of a quart-size whipping cream container, and got pretty much right at a pint of uncultured buttermilk. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'd like to hear back from you guys. Other than that, have a good one.